Welcome to the deep dive. Ever think about owning property that, well, doesn't actually exist in the physical world?
Yeah.
Today we're jumping into the metaverse. You know, this big digital space where people socialize, play games, and actually buy and sell virtual land.
It's pretty amazing stuff.
And it's not like small amounts either. We're talking virtual plots selling for millions. Millions of real dollars.
Yeah, it's really taken off. Platforms like Decentraland and the Sandbox, so they've really been at the forefront of this.
Right.
You buy this digital land, and your ownership is it's represented by an NFT, a non-fungible token.
Okay, NFT, so that's like the deed.
Exactly like a digital deed. It's unique, recorded on the blockchain, this secure digital ledger. It proves you own that specific bit of the virtual world.
A digital deed for, a world you can't physically touch, which I guess leads us to the less fun part, where there's big money, scams tend to follow, unfortunately. We're looking at a $10 million virtual real estate scam today.
10 million.
Yeah.
Just vanished.
Right. All tied to something that's just code. So the big question we're tackling is, how does that even happen? A scam that big in a purely digital place.
Exactly. What makes it possible?
Yeah.
And, crucially, how can you, the listener, sort of spot these things and avoid getting caught up in them?
That's the plan.
Yeah, that's our mission for this deep dive. We'll break down this $10 million fraud, pinpoint the weaknesses in this whole virtual ownership thing, and hopefully give you some solid takeaways without, drowning you in tech jargon.
Okay, let's do it. $10 million. This Metastate 3000 scam, our sources mentioned a few names, but that's the gist. This wasn't just some, quickly thrown together website, was it?
Oh, no, far from it. The scammers behind Metastate 3000, they were pretty sophisticated. They didn't just slap up a for sale sign.
Right.
They built this whole compelling illusion.
Really drew people in.
So, slick marketing, I guess.
Yeah.
Flashy websites, maybe lots of buzzwords.
Definitely. Very polished front end, yes. But what really took it to another level was their use of fake celebrity endorsements. Fake endorsements? They just stuck a celebrity's face on an ad.
Even more advanced than that, actually. They apparently used deepfake technology.
Wow.
Yeah, creating videos of famous people. Elon Musk was mentioned, seemingly talking up their virtual land. Saying he was the next big thing.
So AI-generated videos making it look like Musk was backing it. That's deeply deceptive.
It really is. These videos, obviously not real, but they looked convincing enough to sway some investors, unfortunately.
Okay, so they've got the hype, the fake endorsements. What exactly were people buying? What was the pitch?
They were selling NFTs, right? These tokens supposedly gave you ownership of virtual plots inside this Metastate 3000 metaverse.
Which didn't actually exist.
Which didn't exist at all. And these plots, they were marketed as being in, prime locations, near virtual landmarks. Think the digital version of a beachfront property or something.
Gotcha. But the beach wasn't real, the landmarks weren't real, the whole world was fake.
Precisely. All smoke and mirrors. So people bought the NFT, got the token, and maybe a link.
Yeah.
A link to nothing. A world that was never built. It's a classic example of what's called a rug pull in the crypto space.
Yeah, I've heard that term.
Yeah, the creators build hype, grab the cash, and then just disappear.
Yeah.
Vanish, leaving everyone with worthless tokens.
Just a digital receipt for nothing? That's incredibly frustrating. But I think I read some victims lost even more.
Sadly, yes. The scam didn't always stop with a fake land sale. They often tried to squeeze more out of the victims using phishing tactics.
How did that work? They already had the money for the non-existent land?
Well, they dangle another carrot.
Yeah.
Maybe promise VIP access or special features within this supposedly upcoming Metastate 3000.
Oh, okay.
And to get this special access, you just needed to connect your cryptocurrency wallet to their site.
Oh, no.
Exactly. People did that thinking they were unlocking perks, but they were actually giving the scammers access to their real crypto holdings, which were then promptly stolen.
Wow. A double hit. Sell them fake land, then steal their actual crypto. It really makes you question, why is virtual real estate so attractive for these scams? What are the vulnerabilities?
Well, there are a few key factors, I think. First off, the market itself is just booming. Exploding, really.
Yeah.
Projections are putting it at, $67 billion by 2030? That kind of crazy growth and hype inevitably attracts both legitimate players and, scammers looking to cash in quick.
So the excitement itself kind of opens the door for bad actors.
It certainly helps them blend in, yeah. And second, this whole metaverse space, it's still pretty new, the Wild West, as some call it.
Right.
It just doesn't have the same kind of established rules and regulations you see in, say, traditional real estate or banking. That lack of oversight makes it easier for these schemes to pop up and operate, at least for a while.
Makes sense. Easier to get away with things when nobody's really policing it yet.
Kind of, yeah. And then there's the scarcity factor on the legitimate platforms.
Like Decentraland.
Yep. Exactly. On places like Decentraland or the Fanbox, there's only so much land available. It's finite.
Okay.
That limited supply drives up prices, naturally. But it also creates this intense FOMO fear of missing out.
Ah, FOMO. The scammer's best friend.
You bet. They exploit that feeling hard.
Yeah.
Limited time offer. Buy this prime spot before it's gone forever. You know the drill. High pressure tactics.
We see that everywhere, yeah. Are there other risks tied specifically to the virtual nature of it?
Definitely. The technology itself can be a hurdle. Blockchain, NFTs, interoperability between worlds. It's complicated stuff.
For sure.
It can be really confusing, especially if you're new to it all. And that confusion creates an opening for scammers. It's hard to know if you're buying a legitimate digital asset or, snake oil. It's like trying to explain a DAO to your grandma who's still figuring out her DVR.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. That knowledge gap is a big risk.
It really is. And maybe the biggest thing is the value of your virtual land is completely tied to the platform it's on.
What do you mean?
Well, think about Metastate 3000. Since the platform was fake and never launched, the NFTs representing land there are totally worthless. They're just digital dust.
Right. Unlike physical land, which still exists even if the developer goes bust.
Exactly. Your virtual plot only has value if the specific metaverse world it's in continues to exist, be popular, be maintained. If the platform folds, poof, your investment can vanish overnight.
So platform viability is everything, which really highlights why you need to pick carefully.
Absolutely critical.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the practical side. How do you actually avoid these traps? How can you spot the scams?
Yeah, that's what everyone wants to know. What are the red flags?
Okay, number one, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Research the platform thoroughly. Don't just look at their slick website.
What should you look for?
Look for genuine active communities. Are people actually using this metaverse? Are there real events happening? Does it have partnerships with established brands? Legitimate places like the Sandbox or Somnium Space, they have these things. If a metaverse seems to only exist on some flashy, but maybe slightly sketchy website with no real community engagement, huge red flag. Run away.
Got it. Look beyond the marketing hype for actual substance. What's next?
Wallet security. This is non-negotiable. Never, ever share your crypto wallet's private key or seed phrase with anyone for any reason. Full stop.
It seems obvious, but people must fall for it.
They do, especially when tempted by amazing deals. So be incredibly skeptical of offers that seem way too good to be true. A virtual castle for 90% off. Probably a scam.
Right, if it sounds too good.
It almost certainly is.
Yeah.
And maybe a bit more technical, but if you are buying an NFT for land, try to look at the smart contract itself. Use a tool like Etherscan. Check for anything weird or suspicious in the code.
Okay, that's a good tip for the more tech-savvy folks. What about just general investment advice in this area?
Same as any investment, really. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify. Please don't pour your life savings into virtual assets, no matter how exciting they look. Remember, even the legitimate virtual real estate markets can be super volatile. Prices swing wildly. I mean, even if you bought land next to Snoop Dogg in his metaverse neighborhood, you're not immune to market dips.
Huh. Good reminder. Even Snoop's virtual neighbors see fluctuations. Okay, so looking forward, does all this scam talk mean the whole metaverse real estate idea is doomed?
I don't think so. Not fundamentally. The tech is still evolving super fast. VR headsets are getting better. AI is being integrated. All this stuff could make virtual worlds way more immersive and appealing.
So the potential is still there?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And that continued evolution will likely keep interest in virtual ownership alive.
But what about the scam problem? Is anything being done?
Regulation is definitely starting to catch up, albeit slowly. Governments globally are paying more attention to crypto in the metaverse. We're seeing more efforts to tackle digital fraud.
That's good.
And maybe down the road, we'll see things like, I don't know, licensed virtual real estate agents, people who have to follow certain rules and ethics like in the real world.
That would certainly help build trust, wouldn't it?
It really would add a layer of accountability. But
Yeah.
For now, the responsibility is mostly on you, the individual investor.
Yeah.
You need to be careful, be vigilant.
Yeah.
Think of it this way. The metaverse might offer these amazing new digital places like bridges to new experiences. But you absolutely have to check if that bridge is, actually safe and real before you try to walk across it.
Great analogy. So let's quickly recap this deep dive then. The Metastate 3000 scam costing $10 million. It's a really stark warning. Virtual real estate, even though it's intangible, is a target for very real fraud. The vulnerabilities. Well, it's the booming market, lack of rules, the tech being confusing, and that good old FOMO.
Exactly. And crucially, we talked about protecting yourself. Do your homework on platforms, go guard your wallet keys like Fort Knox, and just be skeptical of anything that sounds unbelievable.
Right. Basic safety rules apply to this new frontier. Which leaves us with a final thought, I suppose, as our digital lives and physical lives keep getting more tangled. How do we make sure the common sense, the due diligence, the protections we expect in the real world, how do we make sure those extend properly into these new virtual spaces?
That's the question, isn't it? It's something we'll all be grappling with as these technologies evolve.
Definitely something to keep thinking about.
Absolutely. And if you want to dig deeper, we really encourage you, go research some established, legitimate metaverse platforms. Stay updated on security practices for digital assets. Knowledge is your best defense right now.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive today. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe online.